Hello, welcome to Business. My name is Darryl Kwao. The National Petroleum Authority has assured that it is keenly monitoring activities of oil marketing companies to avoid cartels which would exploit consumers. This follows the trend of increase in petroleum products on the world market. Addressing stakeholders on petroleum products pricing formula post-deregulation, head of pricing at the NPA, Abbas Tasunti, promised that the authority is monitoring the OMCs and will ensure that nothing untoward happens in the next pricing window.
The engagement with the stakeholders is part of the input mechanisms by the NPA towards the review of the deregulation policy as well as the pricing formula. The issue of cartels in the petroleum sector has been one of the major concerns raised by some civil society organizations. According to the head of pricing, Abbas Tasunti, the NPA is doing everything possible to protect consumers, although there are no facts indicating any form of cartel in the industry.
If there was a cartel, the margins would have been very stable and flat. But you can tell that the margins of the OMCs have been dropping, they move, they are not stable. A cartel would want to set a margin to more or less benefit themselves. But where we have margins that go down, up, down, sometimes going so low, that you see that it is a reflection of market forces at play. It is not a cartel, a market that has a cartel. But as a regulator, we want to assure you again that we are not going to allow cartels to be formed. Our act mandates that we make sure no cartels are formed, whether be it in pricing or be in supply of petroleum products. So we want to assure the consumer that the cartel does not exist, and we are going to make sure that one doesn't exist in the industry.
All inputs from the engagement will be presented to the economic management team before a final decision is made. The chief executive of the NPA, Mustafa Abdul Hamid, believes that this is a great opportunity for the country to improve upon the policy initiatives of the government in the petroleum downstream sector.
I want to try today to harmonize what we say with what you hear and hopefully bring clarity to the matter, and then to hear you also. And then I'm sure that going forward, we can all have a common position on this whole business of petroleum pricing deregulation, so that ultimately we can come back to the Ghanaian people, all of us together, with a policy paper that assures the Ghanaian people that their interests are being catered for by government. And if indeed, at the end of the process, the committee feels that there are fundamental flaws with the structure as it is now, and that there is need for government to review, also to make that presentation to the economic management team of our government to ensure that the correct revisions are made in order to ensure that things are fair, just, and equitable.
The stakeholder engagement is expected to end by the close of October.